Hey, hello folks, Jamie Young again. Another beautiful day in the Berg. A little breezy and chilly, but hey, that's what you get when you live up here. But let me start off with saying, interesting week so far when it comes to what happened on January 6th and with what's right now going on with Trump and those within his administration. On Tuesday we heard the first testimony from 4 of the police officers that were there on January 6th. 2 of them were Capitol Police officers, 2 were from the DC Metropolitan Police. But the whole purpose of that was to give an up-close eyewitness account of what went down on that day. The sad part about it is that even though they were speaking from their perspective and speaking the truth, that yes, it was a bunch of Trump supporters. As one of the officers put it, it was a white nationalist insurrection. And the officers referred to them as being terrorists, which, yeah, what they did is the definition of terrorism. But the overall House Select Committee on January 6th, it is to put the facts and the truth out there. As I mentioned to a friend of mine earlier in the week, it's a fact-finding investigation, and anybody that they feel needs to be brought up on charges, they would refer that to the Department of Justice. But also, as of the other day, the Department of Justice notified that those people within the Trump administration cannot use executive privilege when testifying, which means that when it comes to everything that happened beforehand, during, and even afterwards, the House Committee can pull these people in and, well, subpoena them to testify. Some of them will fight it, which would drag things out, but the DOJ will not defend them in any way when it comes to them trying to invoke the executive privilege, because for them and this committee it does not apply. But also, when it comes to other committees that are also conducting these similar investigations on their own, they can also state that an individual has no right to invoke that. Though I'm sure that when it comes to national security and national defense and so on and so forth, that will not be brought into the mix. But as of today, the Department of Justice has put out a statement saying that all of Trump's tax returns must be handed over to Congress, which means this shit is getting very serious for Trump and those around him. Because they have no immunity, even if Congress is to subpoena Trump, which he would fight that tooth and nail. And that in itself implies a certain amount of guilt, a certain amount of responsibility for what has happened. And I know that there are going to be a lot of people, especially diehard Trump supporters, that will say that this is nothing more than a witch hunt. To be quite honest, I have never liked the word witch hunt, because that implies looking for something that does not exist. And when you have all of this, well, we saw what happened on January 6th. It was on all the networks, except those that are rabidly loyal to Trump. And it's going to be very messy, especially seeing that we are already divided as a country, as a people, as a nation, whatever you want to put it. We are seriously divided. So this committee, even though it's technically bipartisan, is going to be looked upon by a fair amount of people as being very partisan. They are going to question the validity of that, and also question why wasn't anything done beforehand. When you don't know something's going on, it's very hard to know what's going on. If you are not in that loop of those that have the knowledge of what was going on at the time, they typically do not speak out. Though there's all this other information during the whole time period. And I would even say going back to 2016, when Trump first said, when he was running, that basically if he loses, it was rigged. And if he didn't, it wasn't. Which makes no sense whatsoever. How can you say that something's rigged against you when the facts are that it's not? It's kind of hard to put forth something like that, even in my opinion. But yeah, things are starting to get really serious, and when things start getting serious, things can start to happen. And like I say, we are divided. There are those people that I know that are still within this mindset of Biden's bad, Trump was awesome. And Trump was fucking bullshit, in my, personally. He's a con artist. He has been known to rip people off, destroy their lives, just so where he can come out on top. And facts are, he's not going to be getting away with all this stuff. And yes, those that speak the truth are going to continue to get attacked, be called communists, socialists, whatever, when those like myself and others really see it in the manner of facts and information that we know, not made up. And I saw what I saw. I saw what was being aired that day. I know that the lead up to the election, Trump was constantly, and those around him, saying that it will be a rigged election. Though the evidence and the facts and the proof contradict all of that. Now, this is another serious aspect of this. Trump, even months out from the election, Trump is still, and those acolytes of his are still pushing the whole thing that it was a rigged election, that Trump won by a blowout or whatever, and people believe that shit. I know how voting is done here in New York, especially here in Clinton County. You have to show proof. They have your name and everything on file. So, but the lie persists. And there's a lot of people that believe this. Majority of the Republican Party believes this. And I'm talking about people like you and I. They believe this stuff. And this is just Netzel. But, like I say, this House Select Committee for January 6th, it's to find out the facts, to pull people in. And yes, I can see there being referrals to the DOJ for prosecution. And knowing that the FBI and the DOJ both have been doing their own investigations on what happened, will there be the sharing of information? I would guess, yeah, there will be some sharing of information. Where it is allowed. But we're not out of the woods with this shit yet, folks. We're definitely not out of the woods. So, but we will continue to see what unfolds with this select committee. I am very interested in knowing a lot more about the events leading up to, on, and even after January 6th. But also, I'd like to see Trump and his people get prosecuted and hopefully go to jail. At the most, probation at the least, but for them to be out of the picture. Personally, I would not be opposed to having Trump and those around him stripped of their citizenships and thrown out of the country. I would not be opposed to that, but that's just me. Have a nice day, folks. That's all I have for now. Talk to you later.